Welcome back to another episode of Ballers, Beers, and Banter. I'm your host, Dave. Here with me, two guys who did not get put on the COVID-19 reserve list, Anthony and Moose.
What's up?
Hello. I was waiting because usually I start and then Anthony tries to jump in, do it at the same time.
Okay, I was nervous. I thought we had a technical glitch. I thought we were going to have to restart the whole thing.
Playing a game of chicken there.
Yeah. Well,
I won.
Yeah, you won the game of chicken. Footloose? Epic game of chicken. Remember that?
No.
The clip from Footloose? What? With the tractors? The tractor chicken game?
No.
Oh my God, go rewatch it. Anyways, we got a huge. We can't get sidetracked. We can't get sidetracked.
Is that a Kevin Bacon thing? Because
Yes.
doesn't he also do that in Top Gun? Isn't that also a thing?
Kevin Bacon is not in Top Gun.
No, he's not.
Oh well.
If that's
There we
Tom
go.
Cruise,
I've never
yeah.
seen
Val
I've never
Kilmer.
seen
the dude from ER, Goose, not
I've never
Moose,
seen,
not to be confused with Moose, Goose.
I've never seen Top Gun.
Shut up.
Yeah,
Are you
I've never
serious?
Here we are. We got a super busy episode, and Moose, pre-podcast, we got so much to talk about. We're gonna have to cut some stuff, and now we got to get into the fact that you haven't watched Top Gun.
I've never seen the whole thing through. I've just seen like chunks of it. And I could have sworn Kevin Bacon was in it.
Have you seen where he flies inverted?
Possibly.
Have you seen the bar scene where he serenades the love interest?
Yes.
The man.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Have you seen the beach volleyball scene with
Yes.
the handshake? Then you've
Yes.
seen it. You've seen Top Gun. You've
There we
seen it. Yeah. All right. Well, we can avoid that disaster. I'll tell you guys. I'm not on the COVID. Well, first of all, let's talk. We got so much to talk about in this episode, but big news. So I don't normally have beers on Thursday. I'm drinking. I got a Mott's Clamato, Sriracha Caesar. I got a special beer, and we're celebrating. We're celebrating tonight because we are venturing off into a new platform that we are very excited about, and we'd like our listeners to be aware of. So starting this Wednesday coming, we will be airing a live show on the Halftime Sports app. So we encourage all our listeners to go download that app. And what's so cool about this is it'll be typical show that we do, typical awesome fantasy football show, but you'll be able to interact with us through the app. So you're in the audience listening and you can request to ask a question or to join in. We could interview you. It's very interactive. It is a platform built on the vision of just fun sports talk with no toxic environment. So, no negativity. Anyways, we're really excited about it starting this Wednesday. So go get the app. The app, how would you describe it, guys? It's called Halftime Sports in the App Store.
Well, let's get a bit of history here. So originally it was for basketball, and recently they have opened it up to football. So it's football and basketball. So previously it was called Halftime Hoops. So if it doesn't show up in the App Store as Halftime Sports, it might be under Halftime Hoops. And basically it's a black square with a white H and a white circle around it.
Yeah, that's not going to show up at all, but you can see right there at the bottom.
It's pretty.
You can see it.
Yeah, it's
pretty clear.
Maybe you should read an email or two there, Dave.
No, it's just every time it like relogs, it just shows them all up as unread.
Okay, sure.
Don't worry. The 4,087 Gmail messages. Yeah.
Good Lord. But yeah, super excited. And then, like mentioned before, it's a great way for you guys to ask us questions. If you're a little shy, to DM us.
You can. There's a chat. You can just chat in your questions. Anyways, really cool. Really cool. I think it's kind of groundbreaking stuff here. It could be the future of how we consume sports shows. Who's logging into TV, NBC? Come on, get on your app. Come talk to us live. So that launches Wednesday. We're really excited about it.
So 9 Eastern, 6 p.m.
Pacific. Yeah, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific this Wednesday. It's going to be wild. It's going to be off the chain. We got so much to get into today. Training camps, all training camps are open. They're all rolling across the NFL. And with it, so many headlines, so much news. I got news for you guys. I'm on the pup list. I am personally on the pup list. Pulled my hammy. Really stupid. You see those? You ever see the wide receivers on those special treadmills? They're kind of like, it's a carpet and it's U-shaped.
Yeah.
And it'll go as fast as you go. and then it measures your speed. Right. And the wide receivers go like 22 miles an hour and you're like, oh my God, they're crazy fast. So Odell Beckham the other week on it.
Yeah.
So I'm at the gym with this, the athletes I coach, and they're fooling around on the exact same thing. And I'm like, you're not that fast. Like they were so slow. So I hop on, I do it, and I beat them. And then one of them's like, whoa. Well, they're good athletes. Like I'm not exactly my prime.
How old are they, Dave?
16, 17.
Yeah, exactly.
In their prime.
I hope you can beat a
Moose. Would you beat 16-year-old Moose in a foot race right now?
No.
No, not even close.
I think
16-year-old Moose would destroy you.
Are you kidding me?
You're a 16-year-old version of yourself?
I wasn't very big at 16.
Exactly. So you'd be way faster. Yeah. Do you understand how physics works?
Because I definitely wasn't. I definitely wasn't that strong.
All right. Well, that's your take on it. But I remember 16-year-old Moose. He could run. He could fly. Anyways.
Oh.
So then this one challenges me to a contest. This one athlete, and I get up and I hit. I really start booking it. It's not easy. First of all, the carpet's not easy to run on this thing. And anyways, went no warm up. Obviously, I'm an idiot. Popped my hamstring. Boop. Anyways, I'm feeling better already. I got my physiotherapy appointment tomorrow. I'll be good. I'll be back off the pup list, Anthony, before the season starts, because if I was an NFL player and I started the season on the pup list, I could miss up to 6 games, right?
No, I think you missed 6 games.
You have to miss 6 games.
Yeah.
So it's still training camp. So anybody who does appear on the pup list or on injuries and whatever, don't be too concerned. Like there's so much hype from training camps. It's unreal. Like I was getting updates on it's practice and I'm getting updates on a Jalen Hurts TD throw. And I got a little excited about it, but I mean, it's practice, right? So there's all sorts of hype. And I think, especially with the long season we're going to come into, it's now 17 game season. I think they're going to give veterans, like if they're being bothered at all, they're say, all right, just rest. You're fine.
Have you seen the footage of the Cowboys training camp? Dave, it looks like the field we used to practice on.
Yeah. In high school. Yeah.
It looks like an alleyway with like dusty grass,
but they might've been doing that. They might go to different spots around different areas, like it's when let's say the Montreal Canadiens went to, a small town, in Quebec to,
No, that's apparently their field. That's their practice field or their training camp field.
The one where Michael Gallup ran out of the room and flipped over the fence?
Yes.
After touchdown. Yeah.
So here, players on the pup list may not practice or play the first 6 weeks of the season. That's what it is. So not practice either. They just can't do anything.
Wow. Okay. Well,
crazy.
So that'll be big. Training camp, we'll see. But let's dive right into some of these headlines, guys, because there's so many to cover. A lot of excitement and energy coming out today. Of course, today being Thursday, July 29th. All right. So, of course, we're going to start where we've started so many episodes during this off season because I feel like he loves the attention and the drama, and that's with our guy, Aaron Rodgers. So what's the news with Aaron Rodgers, guys?
Well, he finally showed up to camp. They signed him to a 1-year deal. They renegotiated his contract. Basically, he'll have more of a say of which teams he'd want to go to after next year. I believe, they can't franchise tag him or anything. So this is his last season. He's gone. After
so basically, this is it. It is the last dance. Which, by the way, the fact that he posted photos from the last dance, him and Davante Adams as Jordan and Pippen, ruffled a few feathers, including Michael Jordan's trainer. His name is escaping me right now because I didn't plan to talk about this, but Michael Jordan's longtime famous trainer, his strength and conditioning coach, who came out and said, how many Super Bowls have you guys won together? Oh, what's that? 0? Yeah, Jordan and Pippen had 6. So settle down. He was a little upset. And you know what? I stand by him.
I agree with that too. He obviously, they're both very talented players, but exactly what are they?
You're not Jordan and Pippen.
Yeah. What's the last dance about? Just playing together? Just disappointing so close and disappointing your fans.
Oh,
no,
okay.
he's still talking about it. Yeah.
I thought you hadn't seen The Last Dance. Have you seen The Last Dance?
No, I have not.
All right. Well, Top Gun, Last Dance. How many surprises how many bombs are you gonna drop on us this episode, Moose?
I don't know. I guess as many as these wild headlines.
What were you doing during quarantine? It was Tiger King, and it was Last Dance, and then everyone was like, "Oh my God, there's nothing else to watch during quarantine." Anyways, all right, what else about the Green Bay Packers? Aaron Rodgers. I don't know. I go up and down with my Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, the thing about Aaron Rodgers too. So not only that, I think after his first day of training camp, he goes, has a press conference, completely bashes the management, not blatantly, but in a sadistic type way. Like
sadistic. Whoa.
Yeah. I don't know. It was just like backhanded comments here and there. Just the way he did it, it was just he was clearly making fun of them or just calling them out. But I was thinking about it. So he wants more of a say. He doesn't agree with some of the veterans they let go, and he thought that was part of the core teams. A part of the core team.
He listed like 15 names.
So, but it seems like he wants complete control of what happens with the players on this team, but that's not your job. I'm not saying you can't have an opinion, and it's not your
sounds like you're changing your argument. This is what I said weeks ago. If you want to be the GM, be the GM. Don't be the quarterback.
Moose did say that weeks ago.
Yeah. But I knew he wasn't being a team player, and I say this. I agree. I'm like on both sides where I don't think they should shut their mouths and say nothing. Like if you have decent input to give to management, be like, I need this player. Like we were just talking, we'll talk about it a little bit later, but we were talking off podcast that Fitzpatrick had a say in bringing Adam Humphries over to maybe elevate his game and the offense. So it's like, I'm all for giving your opinion.
Look,
but
I'll put it to you like this.
Yeah.
What were we just talking about Michael Jordan's trainer winning championships? What is Aaron Rodgers' job?
To win championships.
Win football games. Ultimately,
but he's blaming the management. He thinks he would win more championships if they kept the core players that he feels they should keep. But the guy doesn't keep in mind.
Hold on, now let's pause. Did Tom Brady have those kinds of weapons?
No, and that's why he left.
That's why he left.
He still won 6 Super Bowls. Is my point. So it's like,
well, yeah, but you could
calm
say
down, Aaron Rodgers, and
the years he did win. He did have either weapons or tremendous defense. But anyways,
how many weapons? Like a top tight end? I mean, Robert Tonyan was showing.
The other point with Aaron Rodgers was how they're treated. So a big emphasis was certainly he wanted to keep some of these guys and keep them around. That was a big part of it. He didn't want these guys to leave because he builds a rapport with them, and then the other piece for him that upsetted him according to his press conference was how they leave. Like they're lowballed, like they're offered like a way under market contract, and they're like, well, I can't take this, and they leave. Like just being treated disrespectfully. He feels that people who've given their heart and soul to the team and their character guys and good for the locker room deserve better treatment.
But this is all coming out now. So it's all coming out now.
But I'll put it this easy. How many artists are there in the world who put up their paintings and nobody buys them, and they'll be like, maybe I'd buy it for like $10.
Probably a lot.
Right. It's the same thing with athletes.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing.
Management's job is to treat it like a business. So if this is how this company is run, he's got to understand, like, if they keep all the players he wants to keep and then they still don't win Super Bowls, is his butt going to get fired? No, it's going to be the GM. The GM's got to do his job. Technically, Aaron Rodgers is not bringing home more championships. So when he wasn't complaining and he had guys like a stacked team, Jordy Nelson, all these guys that he was happy with, how many did he win? 1? He's won 1. He has Davante Adams, Aaron Jones. He turned Robert Tonyan into one of the better tight ends in the league last year. The defense wasn't terrible. They were 13-3 2 seasons in a row. 2 seasons in a row.
Yeah.
You can't get it done at this point. If you're 13-3 and you're making it to the playoffs and the semis, the quarters, and you're not just getting that little bit of extra scoring done to make it to the next round, it's you. It's on you. You've made it far enough to the point where you should be winning. So he's a big baby.
Do you remember them kicking a field goal? Giving the ball back to Brady? That wasn't Aaron's choice.
Just saying. Not only this year. There's been other
everything that Aaron Rodgers and the offense, everybody on that team did that day led up to that moment.
You're right.
So you can't just look at that one moment and be like, oh, if Aaron Rodgers was the coach, it would have been a different situation. Well, if everybody had played differently, may not even have been there.
Yeah. Like the hilarious thing is, I watched the Green Bay Packers completely destroy the Bears and the other teams in the division. They don't do anything with it. They've won one Super Bowl. Like, come on.
So you're upset. You're upset as a Bears fan.
I'm just upset that we're hearing about this crap and that he's being a little whiny boy.
Anyways. We should make a beer bet out of it. I say they don't win a Super Bowl. It's not going to happen.
You're not going to win it this year.
Classic Moose beer bet. I'll take the field. You guys take this one specific team. Beer bet me? I'm not taking that beer bet.
No, definitely not. But
come up with a real beer bet and I'll beer bet you.
So
any other team has to win the Super Bowl and you guys win.
No, you're saying the Pack. Okay, well, hold on. Re-explain the beer bet because you said the Packers will not win the Super Bowl.
Yes, that means if any other team wins the Super Bowl,
you win.
Oh, right. Yes. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So thanks. So you have the field. We would have the Packers.
Everything.
Yeah. Thanks. Thank you. No.
Anyways, moving on. So part of his conditions to renegotiate his contract and show up was to get Randall, for the management to get Randall Cobb on the team. So Randall Cobb was traded from Houston.
Yeah. That should secure the Super Bowl.
Which is the strangest.
Yeah.
Why?
So
he didn't help you win the Super Bowl in the past.
Moose, I hope clearly they're going to win the Super Bowl with Randall Cobb. Have you seen Randall Cobb?
So I hope
several games last year he scored points for fantasy.
I hope he leads the league in drops. I hope he leads the league in drops so that Aaron Rodgers can shut his mouth.
Yeah, out of all the people to go after, I don't know why that was. Anyways, Aaron really relies on, I guess, a lot of timing routes and trusting his. But I'm telling you,
he's old.
Aaron, exactly. The timing routes might not be quite the same. I feel like Randall Cobb will be getting to those spots just a wee bit later than he used to back in the day.
Yeah.
As a big fan of Randall Cobb, I'm a big fan of Randall Cobb, as you guys know. Kept him on my dynasty team for far too long.
And then Randall Cobb reached out to Jordy Nelson to get Jordy Nelson to come back.
Ridiculous.
But he's retired, right?
Yeah. Randall Cobb wanted him to come out of retirement.
These guys are.
Yeah. Well, if Brady can win a Super Bowl at 42, how old was he? 42.
But he's not asking the players to come back.
I'm joking.
Well, I mean, Gronkowski did. But anyway, so to move on to another player on the team. So when we thought that it was only Aaron Rodgers complaining, apparently Davante Adams is not happy with the organization either. He wants a massive contract. But the thing is, if they don't give it to him, he can still be franchise tagged like Allen Robinson. So he might not get his extended contract that he wants, and the money might be tagged, have to spend one more year. So if Rodgers leaves next year, which most likely will happen, Davante Adams can find himself back on the Green Bay Packers with Jordan Love under center.
Well, I think, and the question for Davante Adams is, do you want to be, so if Aaron Rodgers is not there, which is clearly all signs point to Aaron Rodgers is going wherever he decides to go next year in 2022.
Yeah.
So would you want to be the highest paid player on Green Bay with Jordan Love, highest paid wide receiver on Green Bay with Jordan Love, because they'll have the money to do it with Aaron Rodgers gone? Or do you want to take less money and go follow Aaron Rodgers, go where he goes, or go to Kansas City and win a Super Bowl?
Not up to him.
That depends if Davante Adams wants a pile of money or a chance at winning a Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly.
But Allen Robinson didn't want to stay with the Bears, and he had no choice to stay because he was tagged. So
if you're threatening to hold out, then they might not tag you, right? I don't know. I gotta brush up on the old franchise tag as well, because I know Davante Adams is going into his third contract. Can you tag someone?
Yeah, he can be tagged, because I remember that was mentioned that Aaron Rodgers can't be tagged renegotiating his contract, because I believe he could have originally, but only Davante Adams can now, so he might not even leave with Rodgers.
Right. Well, interesting. Anyways, what the fans really want to know now is Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams are both back, so safe. Where is Davante Adams your top ranked wide receiver?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, great. Me too. I think he's unanimous across the entire fantasy football community. Everyone thinks, that's the place to go for your top wide receiver. And then Aaron Rodgers, where do you rank him? If if you believe that he was fueled in part by all of this drama and specifically the Jordan Love draft pick last year, and it fueled him onto an MVP season and number 2 overall to end the year in fantasy football, where do you see him finishing this year, guys?
He's probably not going to do that well.
Really? Why do you say that?
Well, because when he gets all upset and disgruntled, he plays very poorly. He's a very emotional player.
Well, maybe he's not disgruntled now. He got Cobb. He got his contract. He can leave next year.
And if they don't get off to a hot start, you don't think
that it's his fault?
Well, yeah. You don't think that's going to weigh on him? You don't think the media is going to tear him apart?
Listen, he's complained before. Like I said, they went 13-3 2 seasons in a row. It's hard to duplicate an MVP season. So he's definitely not going to play as well as he played last season. Let's say for
not.
fantasy.
Are you pulling a Dave? Definitely not.
Well, we always say that it's hard to duplicate such an outstanding season.
It is hard.
So he had an MVP season. I'm not saying he's going to be a bad fantasy option for QB, but he's not going to be as good as he was last year.
Where do you think? That's top 5? Top 5?
No. I think
outside the top 5? Moves outside the top 5?
Yeah, outside top 5.
I could see him finishing the top 5 easily.
Is there going to be enough room with him and Jalen Hurts in there?
Jalen Hurts top 5 upside. Bring up the highlights. Bring up the headlines from Philadelphia camp, dropping bombs, 40-yard bombs to Davante Smith. I like it, Moose. I don't want to draft Aaron Rodgers in the top 5 because I get what you're saying. Like, to me, I still go Mahomes, Allen, Murray,
Dak.
I know now this show. Well, you bring up Dak, and now we know he's coming back from the injury. I'm less high on Dak. I'm the only one in the world who's less high on Dak. Coming back from this ankle injury, and now he's hurt his shoulder. What's the news on Dak? Can we transition to Dak?
Yeah, minor muscle injury in the shoulder, which
it's going to keep him out of the rest of this week for sure. If camp.
I guess, the team physios are sort of suggesting is shaking off the rust from probably not throwing a football for a year.
Yeah, it's a muscle strain in the shoulder. Yeah, so he's just going to take it easy. I mean, it's not what you want to see, but it's not anything.
I'd rather see it now. Rather see it now than a week before the season starts.
So would you take Dak or Aaron?
Dak.
I think I'd lean Aaron. Lamar or Aaron Rodgers?
Lamar.
Anthony's on your dynasty team. Come on. I go Lamar.
How do you, for fantasy, you take Lamar?
Yeah, Lamar because of the running ability.
Yeah, exactly, for 1,000 yards rushing. Okay, the only other two I would put up there would be Justin Herbert, Russell Wilson versus Aaron Rodgers.
I'd take Herbert, but not Russell.
Anthony?
Yeah.
You take Herbert?
No, I mean, I think Herbert's going to be really good, but it is the Chargers. So until it happens, I still think he's going to be really good. But I think Rodgers, like I said, even when he's being a big, until like their bad luck that usually hits them, just kicks right back in.
Who, the Chargers?
The Chargers, because Herbert will have a great fantasy season, but I think with it seems like the team's cursed. So there's always struggles with the team. They have great fantasy performers.
Are you coming on this
I would
podcast
rather trust
and saying watch out drafting Chargers players because of the curse? Is that what you're saying? Because I'm all in. I'm here for that. Because curses are definitely
Mike Williams is cursed. Eckler was cursed last year. The only thing that wasn't cursed was the best thing happened for them. Herbert
also Anthony, I don't want to alarm you, but I just noticed there's a ghost flying around your left shoulder, across your left shoulder. Curses are real.
I'll give you this. Mike Williams might be hype cursed, but until Austin Eckler gets like some other kind of crazy injury again or something like that, you can't say he's cursed just because he got injured.
Yeah,
it's just the team's cursed. It's not individual players.
Cursed?
It's just the team. Just the team's cursed.
The whole team is cursed.
Yeah, the whole team.
This is the first time hearing of this. Is this a?
Well, do you see how they perform in regular season for like the past few years? Like after Tomlinson left,
are we talking real football? Or are we talking fantasy?
Well, if you look at everything, like Eckler had one good year, and Melvin Gordon, and then everybody else.
You just keep saying Eckler. So outside of Eckler,
anyways, I've
drafted
a lot of.
No. You don't get to just throw out names and say the whole team's cursed. Is Keenan Allen cursed? I mean,
We'll see.
Hunter Henry, I believe Hunter Henry could have been a little bit cursed.
There's
He got quite a bit.
so okay, so
But Justin
here's
Herbert
more what it
seem,
is.
He didn't seem so
Here's
cursed
more
last
what
season.
it is. There's
Here's
a
what
lot
it
of
is. Here's
hype.
what it is that you're trying to not give Justin Herbert credit for having an amazing rookie season, and there's no reason
Not at all.
with two rookie wide receivers, Keenan Allen and maybe Mike Williams, they shouldn't.
So this is what I'll say.
Tremendous.
Maybe
season.
the hype with all the players are super hyped this year. So it just seems until it happens.
It did happen. It happened last season.
Yeah, but everybody's hyped on it. Like everybody's ready to crown Herbert. We all saw the talent. I was on your side saying that he was going to get in and play.
Now you just forgot.
He
closed your eyes.
He exceeded our expectations, but I think the team. But what makes you think that Aaron Rodgers is going to be below? We rated him.
I told you. I think he's going to be very disgruntled all season.
He was an MVP. But
the minute they start, if things don't work out,
so what
Randall
makes you
Cobb,
think that they're not going to go well?
I said that. I didn't.
No, but what makes you think? Because according to him, it didn't go well last year. They went 13-3, and he was an MVP. So that's not well for him.
Yeah,
it's the Brett Favre curse. That's the Brett Favre curse.
There you go. Dude, everybody's a year older. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is bogged down by all of this. It's not going to go well for him. I don't think. I think he's going to be very emotionally distraught whole season.
I don't think he can afford to be emotionally distraught, because if he's playing to go to another team and get a big contract, he has to play well.
Of course.
So I don't think he can afford, even when he's disgruntled, to play bad here.
Yeah,
when
a lot of people have to do a lot of things, but that doesn't mean it happens.
Yeah, like Herbert has to, where he was in his rookie season, he's got to do that and better. That's what his expectation is. He's still very young on a terrible team, football wise. So it's not guaranteed that he'll play well.
If disgruntled means kind of like upset and surly, then what does gruntled mean?
Nothing.
Is gruntled happy?
Nothing.
I feel like we should make it a word, though. So I'd like you guys to get a little less disgruntled and get gruntled. Get gruntled for me here.
I don't know how we got that.
Now,
so we're still in Dallas here.
Do we got more Dallas news?
David.
Do we got more Dallas news?
I don't know. CeeDee Lamb making some crazy catches.
Hold on, Dave.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah. Look.
Gruntled means pleased, satisfied, or contented.
Did you Google that? Is that really what it means?
Yep.
Oh, well, then just gruntled makes perfect sense.
It does.
You learn something new every day, and you learn several new things listening to this podcast.
Well, I would imagine that anybody who is listening is now gruntled.
Pleasantly gruntled, extremely gruntled, elite gruntled, super gruntled, all of the above. Listen, we talked about curses. You know what's not a curse? COVID. COVID's real, and apparently it's still around. It's not going anywhere. All sorts of people have been put on the COVID reserve list all over across the NFL. Some unvaccinated, some maybe even vaccinated, because that's how it works, including Curtis Samuel for the Washington football team and Lamar Jackson, who had COVID reportedly in November. So how are you guys approaching this season as fantasy players? Gus Edwards. I mean, there's many. You can go check it out. We could list them all. How are you guys approaching this news about people being put on COVID-19? Same as reserve list, same as last year.
It's the same as last year. Like, what are you going to do? Like, these guys, some guys don't want to get the vaccine for whatever reasons, and they're a liability to everybody. And I don't think any amount of research on anyone who's playing fantasy football can prevent you from ending up with someone who ends up on the COVID reserve list. So
are you going to favor drafting? Are you going to steer clear of drafting unvaccinated players if you know if they're unvaccinated?
I don't know. I think by the time the season starts, everyone will all the key fantasy players will be vaccinated, and everybody else will be cut.
I mean, Dodger Hopkins isn't getting vaxxed.
Well, not yet.
Not yet.
But
he's pretty good.
Yeah,
he's up there.
But that's the thing. These guys. Well, I mean, maybe he'll just retire. I mean, and that'll just be like an Andrew Luck situation. Like,
oh my gosh, that'd be the worst.
So obviously, some people have health issues that could be made worse by the vaccine. In some, we've heard stories.
Of course, yeah.
So but I don't think there's anything as a fantasy football player you can do to avoid this. So just draft just draft normal, but don't draft guys like Cole Beasley, who will probably just get cut.
Well, actually, coming out of Buffalo camp, I just want to point out real quick, a lot of hype around Emmanuel Sanders, saying that he could be a key focal point in the offense.
I thought it was hilarious. Just to not that I want to waste any more time on Cole Beasley, but his whole argument is that he works so hard to get to where he is that he doesn't want to ruin it with the vaccine, but he can't take that same thought about scientists. It's like, they didn't work hard to be scientists. They don't know what they're talking about. It's like if I was like, hey, Cole Beasley, teach me how to play football, and he's like, all right, here's how you play football. And I go, no. I've heard that this is how you do it. You don't know what you're talking about.
Well, or you could say that, like, he works. So if his whole point is he works so hard, he doesn't want to have it ruined by taking the vaccine. But you could say the opposite as well, because you like you said, you could get cut, right? So your future in the NFL could be.
But I mean, you have to assume that scientists have worked really hard to save the world.
Whenever you say scientists, I'm just picturing dudes in white lab coats, or like
me too.
Dexter. What was that show?
What do you call this? Chemists? Biochemists? Who makes pharmaceuticals?
Yeah, they're scientists. They're scientists. Yeah,
I feel like scientists is the global umbrella.
Broad term. Yeah. But I feel like I'm playing GoldenEye, and you're like, don't shoot the scientists, shoot the bad guys.
This is it.
N64 back in the day. Slappers only. All right. So that's COVID-19. There's a lot of people are going to come on and off the list. We'll keep you up to date on the big names, the important ones. But moving right along, we have a lot of news coming out of Washington, including Curtis Samuel being put on the COVID-19 reserve list and potentially tweaking some sort of injury. So we'll keep up to date on that. And then the big news is that Adam Humphries apparently is appearing as the favorite target of Ryan Fitzmagic. And of course, they did play together in Tampa Bay. And apparently Ryan Fitzpatrick was part of getting Humphries to come to Washington, and now he's favoring him. So we kind of got a little Fitzmagic Humphries connection, maybe a little magic hump. Could be the combo there.
Yeah,
I was gonna
I'm liking it.
I was gonna go with Hump-Magic, but sure, magic hump.
Oh, what do you like better, Anthony? Hump-Magic or magic hump?
The magic hump.
Magic hump.
Yeah, but for a name, you wouldn't call someone magic hump. You'd call them Hump-Magic.
No, but I'd be more into a magic hump than Hump-Magic.
Yeah, but imagine if your nickname was Hump-Magic and you did a magic hump.
As one person, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's Hump-Magic.
All right. Anthony, what else happened in Washington? Is that it? Did we cover that? Is that the big one?
Yeah, like that.
Or it could be a German, or maybe, a German like hot dog stand. You could have some Fritz-Fries.
It's close. Fritz-Fries. I like it. Adam Humphries. Fitz.
But no, it was just Humphries could be a potential like final round pick. He's going to be in the slot. He's a guy that's underachieved. He got that big contract when he went to Tennessee. Didn't really do much with it. Had some moments last season, but then got hurt. I know he covered my butt a couple weeks in the Dynasty League when I had some other injuries. But, it'll be interesting to see because with the Washington offense, we don't know what's going to happen. We expect Fitzmagic to air the ball out a lot. We expect Terry McLaurin to take a step up since he actually has a quarterback that can throw to him now.
Which, by the way, when you look at the numbers, will be astronomical. Like if you look at Terry McLaurin's numbers from last season, stepping up from that is going to be really awesome.
Terry McLaurin's a man, but I don't want Adam Humphries eating into Terry McLaurin. No. Terry McLaurin's got a lot of fans.
This is one day at camp.
Yeah.
Let's pump the brakes here.
You're right.
But I think it more affects Curtis Samuel, if anything. Like
right.
If
he was one of my Marquise mid rounds. We all were excited about him.
And I was thinking about putting Adam Humphries as a deep sleeper. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see what the offense, but it's for sure Terry McLaurin's offense, like Fitzmagic and McLaurin.
Yeah, okay. So McLaurin, we all feel, can't do worse than last year. I think he's wide receiver 20 on the year. So we park him at 20 plus, or minus, depends how you look at it. Better than 20. So now we got Curtis Samuel and Adam Humphries. Do you feel like they could both? have
wait.
value or oh.
And Logan Thomas got paid.
Oh,
Logan
big
Signed on
Thomas
contract.
for 3 more years.
Big
3 more
contract.
years. So he's there too.
Yeah, and he was a target machine last. He got tons of targets last year. I think 110 if I recall. So in this offense that we don't know what it's going to look like in this Washington football team, do you think it's an either or situation? Like Curtis Samuel could bring you value, drafting him in round 8, wherever he's being drafted, or Adam Humphries could bring you value, drafting him
I
last.
think there's only 2 names you should be targeting early.
Yeah,
It's McLaurin and Gibson.
Yeah.
Everyone else I would not touch early.
well,
Yeah.
no, but I mean Humphries can get way late.
Yeah.
You can get last round, or you might not even get drafted.
Undrafted.
So yeah, I still think Curtis Samuel's the guy, but it would be like a marquee or later, like a sleeper. So 8th round, he's probably going higher now. Curtis Samuel, he's probably going 6th round now. No, round 6.
I'd still
Curtis
be
Samuel? I think
nervous.
he's
I'd still be nervous about Curtis
round
Samuel.
8, but I'll
Yeah.
look into it.
Yeah, I'd be nervous too.
Okay,
All
moving
right.
on. What do we got next?
What do we have next? Oh, so, since we love talking about your Jalen Hurts on the Philadelphia Eagles, just some
I'm
information.
gonna do a little. You can't see me. You got to come on YouTube to see this little dance I'm doing. But
One of their O linemen, Brandon Brooks, he's out again. I believe he's on the PUP list now. So that's not a good start, and he's always injured.
he's missed a lot of time.
Hopefully, for his sake, it's not that serious. We don't like to see people
As
get
long as
injured.
Jason Kelce is back, as long as he's back, we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's that, and then Boston Scott is so far the clear RB2, which is disappointing more for dynasty leagues. I forget his first name, but
disappointing for Philadelphia.
Well, I mean, Boston Scott's like their Darren Sproles. Like he's not a classic running back, like just ground and pound type guy, but he's like a Swiss Army knife.
You did not just compare Boston Scott to Darren Sproles. I know that.
No, they
both
want to
played for
use him in the
Philadelphia.
Darren Sproles role, but he's no Darren Sproles.
Okay, thank you. Because Darren Sproles, come on, he's the man. No.
But I mean, if he like the rookie that they drafted, Gainwell, is apparently the 3rd back now. So
Yeah.
I mean,
I
it's
was
the first
excited
day
about
of
Gainwell.
camp or first
Yeah.
or second day of camp. So that could change. Rookies, need a little bit of work to prove themselves. So we'll see how it goes when it gets into the preseason games. But I thought that was pretty important to mention, especially for Dynasty.
Big time. And like we're not very high on Miles Sanders, so if Boston Scott is the number 2 guy or Kenny Gainwell, one of those two could return some value there. With old Miles Sanders at the helm. All right, guys. Well, speaking of Jason Kelce, who's really Jason Kelce, if you don't know what we're talking about, Travis Kelce came out and said a while back that his name's actually Kelce, and it's just everyone's been mispronouncing it forever, but we still call him Kelce. Travis Kelce left practice today with a little bit of hip and back tightness. That's 2 different areas, guys. You worried at all, or just training camp? Shenanigans.
No,
Just getting back into the swing of things.
He's getting old, but that doesn't change anything. You're still drafting him.
He's getting old, but like still prime tight end age, eh? Like tight ends at 30 to 33 are still just crush it. Like remember Tony Gonzalez? I'm pretty sure he played till he was 63. And really well. No Super Bowls, but he played real well. Yeah. So we're okay on Travis Kelce. We're still drafting him.
Really, for sure. Well, I mean, as long as Patrick Mahomes is there, you're taking Kelce.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he should be there for another. Patrick Mahomes, he's just cleaning up. He was already part owner of the Kansas City Royals baseball team. Now he's got in on their soccer team, Kansas City Sporting KC. He's just cleaning up. Patrick Mahomes is. They'll probably win the Super Bowl. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah,
you guys are
I
picking
think they'll
KC,
go
right?
back.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Buffalo just for fun, but Josh Allen. It's Josh Allen's turn. All right, let's roll along. We're I got like 18 things on the list here, and I don't think we're gonna get through all. So, Anthony, what's the next top priority on the list?
To me, it would be the New England news. What's going on at New England camp? So right now, Mac Jones is ahead of Jared Stidham, or Stidham, his real name. Yeah, so he's number 2. But interesting news: Cam Newton just classic Cam Newton. So he went to throw the ball to a fan in the crowds, but threw an interception.
Not the guy probably should have just jogged it over.
Yeah, probably. I mean,
a la Marshawn Lynch.
I don't think it's gonna go well for Cam Newton again. And I mean, Mac Jones is having some, growing pains. You're new to the NFL. You're trying to learn the offense. So he's looking good, but he's also struggling. There was a play because I was
when
watching.
You say struggling, can you throw a completed pass to a wide open fan in the stands?
But there was a couple times. So this is what I was getting to.
It was probably towards the left side of the stadium. So he struggled.
Is that where Cam Newton can throw? Left side?
That's where he cannot throw.
What? Across the body?
Yeah, because of his shoulder injury.
Oh my gosh!
There was a play today where I believe it was today or yesterday, where Mac Jones, he threw a pass. He either underthrew or overthrew the guy, fell to the ground when he threw the ball. I think it was intercepted, and then he was slamming the ground. But I mean, this is going to happen. Like, it's day 1 or day 2 of camp. He's learning. He's got to learn the offense. It's a tough offense. Bill Belichick is a tough coach, but he's like the best coach you can have. So I mean, you got to give the boy some time, and I think he will. Might see some time mid-season. I don't know, Moose, if you foresee him going in a lot earlier.
Oh my God, yes.
Well, so like how Dave gives his predictions of when Justin Fields would come in.
Week 3, Detroit Lions.
It's a little bit harder because the Patriots really stick to their guns when they, they probably should have pulled Cam Newton a few times last season. I mean, granted, I guess Stidham was going in, so not the greatest situation, but I mean, the Patriots don't want to lose, and yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Cam Newton is, unfortunately, he doesn't seem like he still has that football mindset.
Interesting.
I feel like Cam Newton's going to continue to be Bill Belichick. He's only going to trust. He really likes veterans, right? And it's apparently a complicated offense. I don't think he's going to trust a rookie to run it. And I really feel like they can win with Cam Newton, and especially in the red zone.
Do you honestly believe that?
I believe that they believe they can win with Cam Newton.
Okay, but we all believe that they know that their belief is untrue.
What? Say that whole thing again. So I believe Bill Belichick and company believe they can win with Cam Newton. You're saying that Bill Belichick does not believe he can win with Cam Newton?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, that's fair. But definitely when they get in the red zone, they want Cam Newton there because it just opens up tons of options, right? He ran for like 12 TDs last year. 12 tutties. So at least they have that. But, we'll see. See how it shakes down.
And then just for fun, I think Damien Harris is going to be the new Mike Williams going forward. When it gets
really
well, because Damien Harris now so
you
with all the news that was coming. That. No, it's not excited.
I'm not excited by that.
So before the news that we've brought up about him in the past was like he's the clear number 1, but I think Belichick came out the other day is like he could compete for number 1. And it's just like, what's going on over there? It's just like they're just throwing everybody off. So, I mean, I truly believe he will be the number 1. I'm not reaching for him. Like we mentioned, it's hard to find an RB1 late in drafts. So I would say he would be a guy, not for your flex position, but on your bench that, I mean, Sony Michel, he's had so many opportunities to prove himself, and he hasn't. He has 1 in 4 games where he'll stand out. But just to mention, last year when Rex Burkhead got injured, Damien Harris, that's when he had his biggest fantasy weeks. So, I mean, if the other guys aren't playing well, like what's the other running back that's there? White?
For New England?
Yeah. He's slipping my name now.
They have the rookie.
White? James White. So James White, he's getting old.
And they have Ramondre Stevenson.
Right.
Who is on the NFI list, isn't he?
Yes. He's on the NFI list.
So
the non-football injury list for those who don't know.
As a round 10, 11 running back, I mean, getting a number 1 running back at that point, pretty good. He's probably going to go higher, so you're probably not drafting him. But yeah.
No, my advice is I don't care what the value is. Don't take a New England running back.
I mean, if you get him around 8 or 9, he's fine to have on your bench. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think 8 or
No.
9.
No,
What's the harm in having him as your 5th running back on your team?
because you can have anybody else who's not going to be hot and cold.
Okay, so name someone who's coming
Who's
after
going to get
round
the amount
8.
of touches?
Yeah,
if he's
who's going to get the touches that Harris is going to get?
Yeah,
touches
but that's
equals
never how
fantasy
it works.
points.
That's okay. It's never how it works in New England. It'll be hot and cold.
But like I just said, when Burkhead got injured, those were his biggest weeks. So there is a lot of mouths to feed right now. There's less than last year. But Sony Michel, like I mentioned, Sony Michel's not going to do anything. Nobody's drafting Sony Michel. I don't even know if I've seen him go in any of the mock drafts. So there's him and there's White. And White is, like I said, old.
Damien Harris is going to rush for over 1,000 yards this year. He won't score many touchdowns. He won't catch many passes.
Because Cam Newton
He's going to be
vulture
one of those guys on your bench that you're like, man,
that's the only
tough bye
downside
week.
to him.
It's the old, what is it, week 7 bye week where everyone's on bye. And you're like, well, yeah, slot him in, get me 10 points. You know, like he's not going to knock anyone's socks off, but he's fine to have on your bench.
I want nothing to do with it.
And that's fine. That's fine.
That's fine.
As a New England fan, I like your style, Moose. As a New England fan, let's roll right along. Hit us, Anthony. What's the next order of business?
Oh, okay. We got Amon-Ra St. Brown in Detroit.
Yes.
The rookie looking good. He or how they said it is he's looking polished. Yeah.
Which we use for something. That's a term we use for something else. So don't be confused by that.
So polished that he shone.
I like it.
Yeah,
I would say yes, but
so as we indulge in the Dynasty Fantasy Football League, so this is interesting news. And I mean, even for regular fantasy leagues,
he's a sleeper.
Redraft, he's a sleeper. We don't know who's going to be the lead receiver. Maybe we know it's going to be Hawkinson, but as far as wide receivers, Tyrell Williams.
I don't think he's a sleeper. But I think
Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Well, nobody's sleeping on him. There's no way he's not the second receiver on the team.
Okay, Dave, maybe drum up where he's being drafted. Maybe where he's being drafted makes him a sleeper.
He's going like undrafted or last round of your
that's a sleeper.
PPR redraft. That's
if nobody's drafting him, that's your pickup.
He's a rookie. So people in the know, people who've been listening to this podcast for a while, they know his name, Amon-Ra St. Brown, because we've mentioned him a few times. We mentioned him in our collab episode way back when with the Fantasy on Tap guys. We mentioned him in Sleepers. So people know him, but for the average fantasy player, they're not going to have any idea who Amon-Ra St. Brown is.
Yeah, well, I think the detriment to Amon-Ra St. Brown is Jared Goff.
Yeah. I mean,
that's probably why people aren't drafting him.
It's a strong point. But he's the number one. He could be the number one wide receiver on their team. Maybe second receiving option after TJ Hawkinson. So,
who else other than TJ Hawkinson and Amon-Ra St. Brown do you even envision catching passes?
Well, they got Rashad Perryman.
Tyrell Williams might shine for
passes.
A few weeks.
I mean, if you throw a ball in their general vicinity, they should catch.
Somebody's got to catch the ball.
Yeah. Like if we're playing catch moose in the backyard, toss the football around as I look forward to doing when I come back for a visit.
Yeah.
We'll catch some. We won't catch all of them.
Okay. So basically that's it. So it's TJ Hawkinson and Amon-Ra St. Brown and then maybe DeAndre Swift out of the backfield. That's it.
Yeah, like I'm not excited about it. I'm not gonna be like going into my draft being like, got to get these Detroit Lions players on my team.
But for Dynasty,
I'll probably steer clear of all the Cats teams.
So look at it more in a Dynasty sense.
That's not true. I like the Bengals.
Detroit's going to be terrible. They're going to get early draft picks. Goff is not going to last very long over there in my eyes. So Amon-Ra is an investment for the future in Dynasty. He's a very, very, very deep sleeper for redraft leagues. He'll probably be a stream or a waiver wire pickup at some point once we know a little bit more how that offense is going to run. But yeah, I mean, just keep your eye on him.
We will. All right, moving along. I want to bring up next name to bring up for me is Kenyan Drake, appearing on the NFI list, the non-football injury list. And to me, this is significant, not only for Kenyan Drake, because people were targeting him as a late value, thinking he'd be maybe a timeshare, 50-50 in the Raiders' backfield with Jacobs, but because many people, including some on this podcast, yours truly, were fading Josh Jacobs a little bit because of the presence of Kenyan Drake, amongst other things. But people worried that Kenyan Drake's presence would eat into Josh Jacobs' production. So what does this do for you? Like, if Kenyan Drake's going to start the year injured, or, you know, are we moving Josh Jacobs back up our draft board? What are you thinking?
Quick question. How did you feel about Kenyan Drake last season?
I was pretty excited about him before the season, and then pretty underwhelmed during the season.
Okay, well, he was in a boot this time last year.
Right.
So
what are you saying?
par for the course, probably.
So, but the same as last year? Like, it doesn't matter?
Yeah.
And I mean,
I would say until we hear he's a no-go.
Okay, put it this way. If you found out Kenyan Drake was, I don't know, not ready to start the season, first, he's on the PUP list, 6 games, he's out. Where does Josh Jacobs then? Okay, but let's say that's happening. Does Josh Jacobs like shoot back up your draft boards?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. How high would you take him?
Because right now he's going about round 4, right?
I'd take him round 2 or 3 easily.
No,
if
round
Kenyan
4
Drake
now,
was
he's
out.
dropped it round 4. I think he's round 3.
That's
Maybe
crazy. If
Maybe
he's in
late
round 4,
3.
that's insane.
Yeah, he's round 3.
Okay, late round 3. So
end of round 2, beginning of round 3. That's where he's going.
End of round 2. Hundo P. End of round 2.
Yeah,
half PPR.
I can't imagine him going anywhere past. Like, even halfway through the third seems absurd to me.
He's behind Dobbins, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He's around that area of those, and like Najee Harris. He's like in that category.
That's still pretty high. All right. Well, we got to get back on these.
Well, I mean,
when's your last mock draft? Drum up your last mock draft. Was it yesterday? Was it 2 hours ago? Was it right now during the podcast? When was it?
No.
All right. Well,
I'll drum it up. But yeah, I was people were super high on him last year. I had the second or the first pick in our main keeper league, the keeper league, and I needed a running back. I was like, ooh, Kenyan Drake is, the lead back in Arizona. Then he went into the walking boot, but still, like, he wasn't expected to miss a lot of weeks. I was like, nah, you know what? Kenyan Drake always seems to have something that drops him out of the running for being that guy to lead your team to a fantasy playoff or a championship. So I went with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Didn't really pan out how I wanted to, but I mean, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is my keeper this year. If I drafted Kenyan Drake, I'm for sure not keeping him if I'm going into this next season. So I think that the hype is a little high for him. Josh Jacobs, like I've mentioned in the past, earlier in the offseason, that I don't think Kenyan Drake will take that much away from him because Josh Jacobs is very productive. He's a very productive back. And you're worried about the offensive line.
No. Yes and no. Well, it's a completely different O-line. The offense in general I'm worried about. And they look for ways to take him, to not involve him in the game, if that makes any sense. Like there was a handful of games where he just dominated last year. His first game of the season, like 33 points and half PPR, if I recall. And you're like laughing. You're like, oh, I'm going to win this year. And then he was just subpar the rest of the time. They just don't use him enough, and they don't pass to him enough. And all his points seem to come into cluster games. But we only have a 2-year sample size with Josh Jacobs, so it's fair.
He's going middle of the third in the last one that I did 3 days ago. He went after David Montgomery, and Henderson went after him.
Yeah, when did Henderson go in this most recent mock?
At the end of round 3.
Whoa, which is way, really that's even earlier than we said. And
yeah, but this is drafting with people, not the computer. So people are high on him. People are high on Henderson. I think. Well,
it's interesting because we put in our Instagram poll up for Darrell Henderson. Would you take him round 5 or earlier, or after round 5? And overwhelmingly, came back after round 5.
Would you take
and
Jacobs before Montgomery? So Jacobs or Montgomery?
I feel like Jacobs is the better back. But who's going to score more points this year? Man, to me, it would come if I found out either Kenyan Drake or Tariq Cohen was out, I would take the other back. If all things being equal, I think I lean Jacobs. Yeah.
I give it to David Montgomery because I think the O-line is
Bears fan
better.
over here.
Yeah, but I think the O-line is better.
Yeah.
I do think Josh Jacobs is a more talented back, but I think situation is better for Montgomery.
Yeah, probably. You're probably right. And if Cohen's out, because Montgomery ate with he was getting like 5 receptions a game towards the end of the season last year. So if Tariq Cohen's out, he'll be great. All right, let's move on. We're running out of time. We got like maybe 2 or 3 more here. What do you want to talk? You want to talk Julio Jones? Is Julio Jones news?
Yeah, I love might as well.
I mean, hold on. Let's pause here because although it's hilarious, we haven't really spoken about these types of things on the podcast. So maybe until we know more, we should wait.
Okay, well, we'll wait on the Julio Jones.
But we can just say he could be facing some legal issues.
Yeah. He might not be drafted so high.
No, I think he will be drafted high.
Okay. All right. Well, let's fire off. Anthony, fire off some other headlines.
Yeah, so we forgot to mention when we were talking about Philadelphia that Jalen Reagor is tweaked something at camp, a lower body injury.
It's the famous Philadelphia lower body injury.
Exactly. So
the same one Miles Sanders had last season. Just broad strokes. The entire lower body is injured.
That's a hockey thing. The NHL does that. It's upper or lower.
Yeah. Zach Ertz reported to camp. He's still unhappy, apparently. He wants a contract, or he wants to be signed long-term, or he wants to move.
So unhappy, in fact, that he dyed his hair M&M blonde. Training camp. So that just put you an idea. Like, remember when Odell did that?
What is that chef there? That
Odell did that, and then he had the best season of his career.
Oh, then that's what Zach Ertz is trying to harness. Wait, Odell did that in New York Giants?
Yeah, that was his rookie season, I think.
That he dyed his hair blonde?
Yeah.
Okay, you might be right. I don't remember. Guy Fieri is the guy you're thinking of.
Yes.
Yeah, Zach Ertz does look like a little bit like Guy Fieri.
What else?
Who's gonna bring the real flavor to Flavor Town?
Not Philadelphia.
Yeah, especially if Reagor, if this turns out to be more serious. I mean, it doesn't help Jalen Hurts and his offensive weapons.
But Anthony, he can just run all day.
He's gonna run for 800 yards.
I don't even know why they have wide receivers. He's just gonna run.
Yeah.
Why does he need his arms?
I don't even know why. Honestly, I don't even know why the rest of the team is there. Jalen Hurts will just run.
Yeah, it reminds me of like I don't know. Was there any quarterbacks recent in history that did that? No. Oh yeah, Lamar Jackson, and he was the overall best player in fantasy football.
Jalen Hurts is not Lamar Jackson.
No, but he does need to be Lamar Jackson. Just needs to be good enough for that top 5 upside. Boom, done. Kyler Murray. Boom.
Some Jets news: Zach Wilson finally signed a lot of guaranteed money. Finally reported to camp because obviously he has his contract now, so he showed up.
Poor guy. He was probably like, listen, if I'm going to play for the Jets, I need it fully guaranteed. Everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
My
Lord knows nothing else is going to go well.
Yeah, look what they did to Sam Darnold. Like, of course.
And he can't use his name is slipping my mind now, the coach. They can't use Adam Gaze as a
Robert Salah
as a scapegoat. Well, they can't use Gaze because Gaze. Blame Gaze, but now he can't use that excuse. So I mean, he might as well get his money all up front in case something bad happens. But also Denzel Mims is running with the second team, not with the first team,
which to me means Corey Davis, Elijah Moore, boom, boom, right for the first team.
Which was Corey Davis was my sleeper because as a wide receiver 1, he's going late in drafts, kind of like a Damien Harris type thing. Late. Yes, the team is bad, but he's a number 1 receiver. He's going to get the targets. Targets, if you come down with them, it's positive for fantasy football.
I think that's the important thing you just said. If you come down with them,
right?
Yeah, but even like worst case, so like the difference between like the highest the highest completion rate is like 70% for quarterbacks, right? The lowest is like 60, right? That's the range. So if you're getting a tremendous amount of volume, even if you're in the lower range of completion rate, you're still going to be very good. So for PPR and half PPR leagues, obviously.
Yeah. Then some other news that we don't like to go in depth with. Deonte Harris on the Saints. We were talking about the receivers who will step up now that Michael Thomas is hurt. And with the potential of missing the start of the season. Deonte Harris dealing with some legal issues. If he's found guilty of them, could miss up to 2 games of the regular season. So that's important to note.
Also, speaking of legal issues, as we've mentioned, Deshaun Watson has some of his own. However, he's at camp and he's playing. And the NFL has said that there will be no suspensions until...
Well, as of now, he's not on the commissioner's exempt list, which means you can't participate.
No, but the NFL said there will be no suspensions until there's any kind of criminal charge.
Well, the NFL likes to wait until all of the criminal and civil suits are done, and then they do their own. Well,
to be clear, there are no criminal suits against him.
Yeah, there are.
No, they're only civil.
No, there are 8 people have filed criminal charges against him.
Yeah, no, but it's not. There's no criminal charges placed against him. You can complain. You can complain to the law, but they're not like official.
Anyways, we don't get
right now. It's only
he hasn't been arrested or anything. Yeah.
So that's it. So right now it's only civil, and as far as we know, until there are criminal charges placed upon him, he'll be playing.
Anyways, we don't talk about that stuff. He's there. He wants to get traded and so on and so forth. I got a couple more things to rattle off, and then I don't know if you guys have anything to add to that, but we talked about Baltimore before. Marquise Brown left the field early at practice, having his legs stretched out by a trainer. This guy is always with a slight bit of pain and has not really proven himself to be a typical wide receiver 1. So, I mean, they're not going to force him at training camp because Lamar Jackson is obviously out. So they're not going to, make him work his butt off. So he's taking it easy. And then Moose's favorite guy, Will Fuller, left practice yesterday dealing with something that
They don't even know. He's just dealing with something.
Yeah.
They don't even know. Miami.
So those were the last 2. A lot of little mini injuries going around.
Crazy. So much stuff happening. So we will be doing our job on this podcast to decipher all this information. So it's an overload from training camps. So, we'll give a lot of information to you. We'll tell you what's important, what's not, what to just wait on. For example, the Kenyan Drake news, just wait on that to see what happens. So that's our job. So just keep listening to the podcast. We'll keep you up to date. But I think we're ready to move on to the next segment, guys, which is They Said It on Reddit.
Boom. Killed it.
And it's coming from user Will Palm 6. And it's a very simple question, guys. Who would you rather have as your RB1 in a 12-team redraft PPR league? So PPR, full PPR, point per reception. And the question is, would you rather have Jonathan Taylor who in the mid-first round, which is around where he's going, or would you rather get Antonio Gibson in the mid-second round? So his thinking is either get Jonathan Taylor in the mid-first and then whatever else you want in the second, the top wide receiver available, whatever, or would you get Kelce or Adams with your first pick and then get Antonio Gibson? So which setup do you like better? So I want to hear from you guys. Do you like Kelce and or Adams, or sorry, not and or Kelce or Adams plus Gibson in the second, or Jonathan Taylor in the first, and then maybe, who else would there be left in the second? Maybe a Waller, a Kittle.
Option like 1 all day.
Yeah. Jonathan Taylor.
You like Jonathan Taylor?
No, Kelce's option 1 for you, Moose, right?
You said Kelce Gibson as option 1.
Yeah. Okay. So you're liking option 2. Liking Anthony, what are you liking?
I'm liking Jonathan Taylor.
Really? I'm surprised by that, but okay.
Yeah. Well, I do have him ranked higher. I have Gibson at the end. I think I have Gibson 12th on my running backs, or maybe 11th.
But the question is specifically Gibson in the second round.
Right.
Okay.
But I would rather have Jonathan Taylor in the first because I believe he'll be peppered with touches. And
what do you think Kelsey's going to have done?
But wait. So we said I didn't say listen, but wait, you're waiting. But I think if you get Jonathan Taylor, you can get your Waller or Kittle, because we talk about tight ends getting the top tier ones. So I think if you get Jonathan Taylor,
maybe not,
he's better than.
but maybe not at 6.
From most of my mock drafts, both with computer and with people, I've gotten Waller towards the back half of the second round.
Yeah, I feel like
So if you're at 6, you're in the back half. Like it could be close.
Could be close. Yeah, it could be close. But I think you probably could get
Waller.
Even if you don't get one of those tight ends,
I have 3 mock drafts.
Really good wide receiver.
Waller and 2 of the 3 went into the 3rd round. So I mean, we're trying to we preach on the show that try to get the best tight ends early, but
now it's we.
Well,
now it's we.
Well, it was you. It was you who said it last year.
Well, Moose, you're trying to get
all on the same
You're
page.
trying to get a top every position.
Yeah.
Right. So,
but
I've preached.
Yeah.
You got to get that top tight end.
So, okay, so let me rephrase it. Moose was the first one to bring it up. We're all on the same page with you, and we've talked about it endlessly on this podcast.
That's the case.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. So, in 2 out of the 3 drafts, Waller went into the 3rd round. In the middle or at the start of the 3rd, because I don't think everybody's sold on that method. Like people are still trying to get as many running backs as they can earlier on, or they feel safer with Davante Adams, because somebody who was burned by Kittle last year might be like, I'm never drafting a tight end early again unless I get Kelce. So I mean, I know Jonathan Taylor is a sure thing health wise and touch wise. I'm not worried about him at all. Gibson, a little lower because he has the foot injury that he's dealing with. He does have McKissick there. They say they want to implement him in the past.
And it's a new offense.
How many point differential do you think Antonio Gibson will have on a week-to-week basis from Jonathan Taylor?
Well, I think Jonathan Taylor has the potential to be number 1, and Antonio Gibson's ceiling is not number 1.
No, but okay, but like what do you think the point differential will be?
Maybe 2 points per game.
So Travis Kelce makes up that differential in spades.
On George Kittle or Darren Waller?
It doesn't matter.
He did last year, but
it doesn't matter because you're taking Kelce and then Gibson. So it doesn't matter about the other tight ends.
Well, sure it does, because we're talking like Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
And so if George Kittle gets you the same amount of points as Travis Kelce, then that wins.
But assuming you get one of those tight ends when it comes back around.
Yeah,
sure. But we're also assuming you can get Antonio Gibson when it comes back around. He could go earlier as well.
Because you're also assuming it's either Kelce or Adams. So if he doesn't get Kelce, he gets Adams. So then that guy who gets Adams is going Gibson. And then we're talking 3rd pick is going to try and be the tight end. So
is Gibson his keeper? Because you said it was locked in that he was getting Gibson in the 2nd.
No, it's not a keeper. It's redraft. He's playing scenarios. So I'm going to vote in. I'm going to vote Jonathan Taylor, taking mid first. And so far, Gibson's in the lead. 57 votes to 36 for the Gibson side of it. So most people agree with Moose?
But a lot of people are high on Gibson, and I don't blame them because I was high on Gibson last year. It paid off. Gibson, I do think, will be a top running back as well this year. I think Jonathan Taylor, though, has the potential to be number 1 or number 2 this year. It's not
just about Jonathan Taylor. It's also about the second player. So sure, that's fantastic. Jonathan Taylor might be amazing, but you also have to consider what that next player is going to be.
Right. But
so who is it? It was Jonathan Taylor, and who would you end up with?
The field.
It's just the question was just Jonathan Taylor or Antonio Gibson, and his thinking in brackets is in my 1st round pick I would get Kelce or Adams and then take Gibson.
Okay, so
there's a lot of assumptions.
So then you could argue that it's Kelce and the field as well. Then
or it's Adams in the field because Kelce could be drafted before.
100% then.
But so that's his risk too. So
it's early to take Kelce. That's like it's like pick 6 or 7.
I think it's worth it for sure.
Right. But we know Kittle.
Based off last year? Yes, 100%.
Right. But we're not only basing off of last year because we know stats change. We're looking over time. We know Kittle, Waller, and Kelce are the 3. We don't give Kelce, we don't put Kelce in a tier of his own and then we drop off the other 2. We put them in the same category. We've seen Kittle beat Kelce before. Have we not?
I'm specifically looking at
Have-
my
but
Kelce
wait.
in his own tier right
Yeah,
now on my rankings, but yeah.
But we've seen Kittle beat Kelce. No, correct me if I'm wrong. Have we seen Kittle beat
no.
Kelce?
Yes, 2 years ago.
Yes, we have.
Yeah,
2
well,
years
2 years ago, George Kittle set the record for tight ends receptions and yards.
So,
And
can
then
you just
Kelce
drum
broke
that,
it last year.
just drum that up where he finished, just so I can explain?
You keep
So-
talking.
So where's Kittle going in your mock drafts?
He's going at the end of the second.
Okay.
So if I get Jonathan Taylor and Kittle versus Kelce and Gibson, I would rather Jonathan Taylor and Kittle. So let's provide this option. So the guy was
Even with Kittle's injury history.
Does have a lot
Yes.
of injuries. Oh, you know what? George Kittle had more. What year am I looking at? Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, so I'm presenting this scenario. So Waller and Kittle with Taylor or Kelce with Gibson?
Kelce and Gibson, still 100%.
No, I would go the other two because I think Jonathan Taylor and Gibson's final stats will be bigger than Kelce between Waller and Kittle. Like the point differential will be a bigger gap between the two running backs because it's not that different if you look at all the years from the other ones. Because they're younger guys, Kittle and Waller compared to Kelce.
Okay,
Kelce's getting up there,
but Kittle's been out. Kittle doesn't matter about age. Kittle's been out more than Kelce, so that argument is.
But this guy's also not saying he's guaranteed drafting Kelce. If he doesn't get Kelce,
make up
he's
your
going
mind,
Adams.
Anthony. Either it's
I'm
these
following the
scenarios
guy's
or it's the
question.
field.
I'm answering the guy's question. He said Kelce or Adams. So if it gets to his pick
Yes.
and Kelce's taken, he's going Adams. He's not
Yes.
going for another tight end. He's not going running back and then Kittle. He's going Adams and Gibson. So
Yes.
he's not even the tight end strategy is not even a thing for him.
But at 1-6, he'll likely get Kelce.
Yeah, and I think that's too high.
Oh, definitely
for
get
Kelce.
Kelce at 106.
I don't think so.
106.
You would draft Kelce 106.
100%.
It's
Oh,
high.
for
Absolutely
sure.
high.
What's
Why
the
not?
earliest?
Why not?
What's the earliest you would draft Kelce?
Probably
12-team
1-6.
I would
106
go.
at
Why
that.
not?
specific spot.
He puts up points equal to a top wide receiver. So why wouldn't you?
Okay,
Just
but
'cause he's
when
a tight end?
Oh no, because here's why you don't. Because when you draft him at 106, he has to recreate what he did last year, which was a record-setting season, for it to be worth it.
Yeah.
If he falls short of that, then it was way overpicked.
Do you think he's going to fall short of it?
Yes.
Yes.
I think likely he's going to fall short. He'll still be
Not by a lot,
He
but
could
he'll
still
fall
be the
short of
number
it.
one tight end on the year, but fall short of that.
He
Anyways,
could be a number one tight end, and all the tight ends just have a drop off in the points that they had the year before. We even saw that with Waller. Like Waller's points were like ridiculous.
He's
Like,
not gonna drop off enough for it to be not worth it.
Yeah, but I think Jonathan
At
Taylor's
106,
stats this year
bold,
will be way higher than expected. So that makes him more valuable
Moose,
than Kelce.
105 receptions, 1,400 yards, 11 touchdowns.
Okay, so other than
the
him being
receptions and the yards were records for tight ends.
other than him being 1 year older, what's changed?
I don't know. They used McCole Hardman. They throw at him 10 more times than they did last year.
Do you
anything
think
could
that's
happen.
going to happen?
Sure, why not? Anything can happen. I could easily see Kelce finishing with, let's say he finishes with 95 receptions and 1,100 yards and only 9 TDs. Now all of a sudden, he was way overpicked at 106 because you could have got Saquon Barkley, who finished the year healthy, or Jonathan Taylor, or whoever, Davante Adams, whoever you want. Anyways, all that to say, George Kittle, by the way, in 2019 did not finish ahead of Travis Kelce. He finished second. Kelce was 204 points, 179 for Kittle. And in 2018 is when George Kittle had at that point, the record for reception yards were 1,377, which was now broken by Travis Kelce most recently. Anyways, Moose, I'm just saying, like, is Kelce going to finish the number one tight end? Yeah, probably. Like, more than likely. But at 106, you need him to be on point to what he was last year.
So outside of Davante Adams, who would you take at 106?
Okay, well, players I would take, put it this way, players I would take before Kelce: McCaffrey, Cook, Henry, Alvin Kamara, Saquon Barkley, Jonathan Taylor, Aaron Jones, maybe even Nick Chubb before Travis Kelce.
No, I would take probably Kelce before Nick Chubb. I'm taking Kelce. I think the earliest I'll take Kelce in the first round is 9th.
So who's your list? Your before Kelce list. We're talking half PPR.
Half point PPR. So in no particular order, McCaffrey, Cook, Kamara, Henry, Aaron Jones, Zeke, missing somebody.
Jonathan Taylor. And then Kelce.
That's 7. And then I'll contemplate 8 and 9th. 8th or 9th.
Yeah,
but
and if you're in full PPR,
Moose is making great points too. If you look at overall, like for sure, like the numbers don't lie. If you look at all offensive players excluding QBs, Kelce finished 7th on the year out of all in half point PPR out of all the positions, like receiver and running back. He finished 7th. So that is like the next tight end is Waller at 16. So you dominate the position, and he's in the top 10, including running backs and receivers. But this is what I'm trying to explain to you. So for me, where I see Jonathan Taylor, if I get Jonathan Taylor and let's say I go 2 running backs and like don't take a tight end even.
Okay, but here, let's do this. You have the points in front of you. Let's just do a little experiment. So just add them up. What's Kelce and Gibson and I don't know, Taylor, and pick somebody
from last season?
Yeah, why not? Let's just do a little quick.
Okay. Kelce was 259. Kelce was 259 last year.
Well, I'm going to go from where I'm looking.
I mean, we can't use Kittle because he didn't play last year.
No. Well, I'll go somewhere else. So we'll go. I'm going to go Kelce and Gibson.
So Kelce was 259.3 points last year.
Gibson.
Okay. Well, hold on. I'll give you Waller because I'm in the
no, because we want to add
the duo.
Kelce and Gibson.
I understand. I understand the process. Fully aware. I'm on the tight ends. Can you just write down what Darren Waller got for me, which was 223.1? Okay. All right, and then we'll hit you with the running back. So last year, Jonathan Taylor was 233.8, and you got to keep in mind Antonio Gibson missed some games, so he's 182.2.
What was Gibson again?
Gibson 182.2 last year. These are last year's stats.
701.
That can't be right. Talking about adding 182 to 259.
Oh, I had another number there. 182 plus 259, 441. And then the other one was 223 and 233.
Yeah, 233. Yeah.
456.
Right. So the JT and Darren Waller one's more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Jonathan Taylor. Yeah, last year. And I think Jonathan Taylor is going to do better than what he did last year. So it all depends on your combination because for me, I also like Moose is the tight end early guy. I'm the running back guy. If you hit on 2 running backs, so if you get Jonathan Taylor in the 6th, who's going midway
106.
106, sorry. 106.
Yeah.
And then you would have hit on, let's say, David Montgomery. David Montgomery finished 8th with 237. So I mean, if you hit on your running backs, and again, like you're saying, if you hit on Kittle, if you hit on Waller, but I mean, it's all where you anticipate them going. So I think Jonathan Taylor's value or his ceiling or upside is much higher than Gibson's. And with Gibson already having foot issues and injury prone issues, I think Jonathan Taylor is secured for the touches. And if you can get one of those tight ends, if you want to go the tight end route or even go a wide receiver or another top running back, like Stephon Diggs finished 6th. Davante Adams finished 4th.
Stephon Diggs, Moose called last year on that pick. Great call. Anyways, great debate. What a great debate. So thank you. What is his name here? Our user Reddit, WillPalm6. Thank you. And of course, if you have any questions for us, you can always reach us at 3bfantasypod@gmail.com, also on Instagram, also on Twitter. But we're very excited for you to listen to us in our live show and ask us questions live, on air, in person, almost-esque on Halftime Sports. So go download the app, Halftime Sports app, and we'll see you Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Any words of wisdom, gentlemen?
I'm drinking a Heineken. That's my words of
wisdom.
wisdom.
Oh, yeah,
beers.
real quick.
Words of wisdom and beers.
Also drinking Innocent Gun.
I'm drinking a Parallel 49. I was celebrating tonight for the Halftime Sports celebration. Parallel 49 Galaxy, because we're going to take you to the moon. Our takes are out of this world. You're going to be otherworldly after listening to our podcast and Halftime Sports Live show. So, Galaxy. Love it. Had a great episode, guys. All right. Well, put your to speak for Moose, put your best gut forward. Always wear sunscreen.
I don't know if you just put your best gut forward.
I did not. Go ahead. You go ahead, Moose.
Well, put your best gut forward.
And if it's
well, today was pretty muggy, so it should it be 295 degrees in your location? Put on some sunscreen.
Absolutely.
Kelvin. Only if it's Celsius. If it's Celsius, you are the sunscreen.
Yeah,
so
you're done.
You're done.
All right. Well, as always, thanks for listening. See you next time.
Ciao.